and go activate. We just found out. We just got the news. This Telepurte.
We should have covered this. I probably should have covered this earlier. Yeah, Telepurte. He got
we did on our we did on the real version on our Discord, which is where we actually talk about everything.
We covered all of that.
Yeah, we don't do a video every time something happens, but this time I thought it was kind of pertinent because I talked about it elsewhere. In fact, we're going to go into that, but this guy Telepurte had a YouTube channel that was really huge, actually, pretty huge.
I think it had 400,000 subs.
I thought it was something like that, and now it's 700,000. So it went up, I think.
Well, a lot of people had also seen his videos, mostly on Twitter, and some of it was not attributed to him.
Well, also on YouTube, apparently, people were regularly stealing his fucking videos. But another thing is
a bunch on 4chan.
Yeah, they would also make compilations of his videos or her, he, her, I don't know.
I assume it's a he because he did. If you go to his channel, main video, it's some guy.
Also, I have genuinely no clue how many subscribers he had before. Could have had 700,000 subscribers. From what I thought, I remembered it was like 500,000 or something.
I think it was a lot less than that. I think it was less than 100,000. I could be wrong.
Yeah, and then what happened was
I can admit that I'm wrong when I'm wrong, which is almost never.
Yesterday, but in fact, I don't know, something. It was at least a day ago, though, a full whole entire day ago. He got banned from YouTube because I guess the content was considered too spicy because there was some cleavage and tit bouncing.
Basically, teen girls on Tumblr didn't like it.
Yeah,
some feminists didn't like it.
Yeah, it was that kind of obvious thing, but so it got pulled down, and a lot of people started digging into the very obvious, blatant hypocrisy of how YouTube had, if you just search for naked yoga, there's all sorts of nudity. None of it's
literally just
or anything.
Those aren't even educational. That's I think what the excuse is. But it's literally just women opening their legs and fully nude doing yoga.
They're speculuming open their entire full whole cunts. They're dilating themselves to 80.
They're ready to give birth to a actual litter of puppies,
which they are possibly capable of because of all the canine semen found within. From before they were doing the fucking naked yoga, I guess, as long as it's not hot yoga, yeah. But there's a lot of mention of how there's just straight up so much blatant cunt open cunt explode nudity just all over YouTube that's not behind the age restriction.
It's not even age restricted. There's also occasionally you'll find full hentai movies.
Well, you know what I remember is that if you search for, you could search for, at least a couple of years ago, you could search for Riona, and you would eventually just start finding fucking anime porn. And it's oh, okay. But in a way, it's very secret and hidden. It would,
it's not made
on the algorithm, whereas other people were talking about how on the algorithm was a video of guys putting things into each other's ass that wasn't shown. They weren't showing it, but it was full on guys. It's here's what we're going to try putting a dildo in our ass, and then we're going to put our dicks in each other's ass. As long as you don't show it, it's okay. But it was getting recommended, had over 3 million views. So it was constantly showing up in people's recommended feed.
Not to mention there was those little cartoons people were making that were just really weird shit, but it would get recommended to children. Yeah,
there was some a few years ago. People were gaming the system for children's content that was putting in really bizarre shit. And I don't even remember. There's videos about that, and I think
I didn't even follow it that closely, but I remember they were getting hundreds of thousands of dollars in ad revenue, just tons and tons of money just in ad revenue because it was getting recommended to so many people.
Yeah, that's the thing that's been. You could say certainly old news, but still always worth bringing up is that the platform of YouTube is not only has been broken, but with this, it was just showing how it's getting more and more broken. Of course, not just with this, because there
This
are
isn't my
other
problem.
examples.
My problem is not that kids might be occasionally viewing something naughty on YouTube. My problem is when they're banning people whose content is completely normal.
Yeah,
And that's
or
what this
not
is about.
sexual, not really pornographic. And there's like some sexual-ish stuff in these animations, but they're like
He's
15
tame.
seconds long. There was no nudity. There
There's
was no
no
like,
nudity. It's, if anything, it's not hardcore enough.
yeah,
But you know me, I
there's
don't
no
like to complain.
there's no going elbow deep or anything. But it was like cute little animations, sometimes with some tit bounce or something like
They're
that.
funny and they're
Um,
cute. It's like there's nothing wrong with them. They're usually very short. A lot of them don't have audio even.
In fact, yeah, they don't even have audio. They're just like little funny shorts, and I liked them. I remember for the past month, in fact, I think the guy's been really blowing up because I remember a lot of people on our Discord were linking us to him, being like, "Oh, this is happy, cute," and
I'm
that
pretty
kind of
sure I
stuff.
saw it on like other places. Yeah, he was complaining about other people stealing his content. That's probably how I found some of his videos the first time, but he doesn't put his name on any of them, so there was no way to know.
Yeah, and he started like watermarking some of them, and it's like, well, that'll work. As much as it can be unfortunate, that'll at least work to let you know. Because otherwise, yeah, I would have just seen his clips and be like, oh, that is cute. Where's that from? I don't know. And usually the other people just got it from the Chans or
I usually
Puppet
saw
or
them.
something.
First time I saw them, pretty sure it was on 4chan.
Yeah,
It was some WebM on 4chan.
yeah, and of course, people on 4chan aren't even that interested in. I mean, someone will always ask what the source is, but people posting it don't really care about. Like, oh, I made sure to
Don't know,
file
don't
name this
care.
one
They don't see
properly,
the
so I know
reply.
who
They don't
made it.
see the post. There's no way to know.
Yeah. So what happened was Telepurte got.
We actually mentioned that with, what was it, G Prime, George Alexandropoulos,
Applepopolis.
because he would I think he would put his name on the very edge, so people
Yeah, people would just
reposting
crop
it.
it. That happens regularly. That happens very regularly, especially with just still images. Is people will just crop out the credit and
Especially if
post
it's
it
like
somewhere else.
he's posting something that's making fun of the libs. He's owning the libs, and then
Mhm.
some libs like, "Did you see this piece of shit?" And they just crop out the fucking author name.
Yeah,
It's
so they
his
don't even
Twitter
have
handle.
credit. That's one other difference and important distinction between George Alexopoulos and Stone Toss is Stone Toss knows to put the name Stone Toss like right in the middle, in between the panels. So you'd have to crop out and the thing is though,
Or
people
erase
will
it.
do edits of his comics, but then they'll say it's by Stone Toss and that he's a Nazi, which just gives him the attention. So it completely would undo any trying to remove credit from him, and he's only gotten more popular from that. And in a way, savvy, but also just good luck on Stone Toss's part too, which is, I guess, nice.
It's a pretty fucking nice racket if you can get it. Just getting swamped with attention. The Among Us shit, which was again people who were just pissed off at Stone Toss, who would just edit his comics to
Well,
make
I
them into
remember
non sequiturs.
one of them, in fact, or a few of them, saying, "Yeah, meme the shit out of him. Let's make him a joke." And boy, did that not work out.
Yeah, it doubled his traffic, which basically just got him more followers than ever.
Yeah, I guess memeing the shit out of it. I mean, that's what happens when you try to meme someone, is you basically make them more popular. But in a way, this was something that I don't want to say really worked in Telepurte's favor, but it raised a lot of awareness that, not to jump into this too soon, awareness that we tried to really raise with people. And it's been something that's been known about YouTube, is that people have known for the longest time that YouTube's just already gone crazy, not just with censoring, but with AI censoring. And in fact, they've rolled out AI to scan the audio to look for hate speech, even if your video's not public and has no views. We found that out when one of our videos that was unlisted and had no views at all got hit with hate speech last month. and just straight up pulled it down. We appealed it, and it was like, it's not hate speech, but also it's an unlisted video. We didn't show it to anyone. Fucking, it wasn't viewed. I think when I looked at it before it fucking got erased entirely, it said it had 4 views, and one of them was me, and I think I showed it to
3 of them were from this
person I
computer
knew.
alone.
But it was one of our friends, and the thing is, YouTube then I think automatically scanned it somehow to look.
They're designing
spicy words.
You'd almost have to be impressed by how much work is going into designing these high-tech AI algorithms that are finding somebody saying a naughty word so
or
that
joking.
You can just
in this case,
unperson them
joking
forever.
About stuff that you're not supposed to fucking that you're not supposed to joke about, but also fucking using any words in any context. It didn't fucking
basically. If
matter.
You are under the mistaken impression that we have freedom of speech anywhere on this fucked planet, you are wrong.
That gets into a whole other issue of like, freedom of speech doesn't cover this, which isn't true. Freedom of speech does cover this because it's not a law, and fucking the First Amendment and freedom of speech are different things. And we're not even going to get it. That's like a 20-hour video. Not going to even get into that.
I know people aren't ready for that. Clearly.
Society itself isn't even ready for that, and the fucking information has already been public.
The tree may or may not need refreshment.
Yeah, to some delicious refreshments for a certain tree that maybe has some liberty in it or something. I don't know.
A very free tree. A free tree.
A nice free tree.
And maybe some
water tree, if you will. Complimentary tree.
Giving it some natural manure.
Yeah, there's manure, there's fertilization with, there's various types of fertilization.
Various types of fluid that you can spill onto the roots.
Well, like water. Water's a fluid. Soft drink's a fluid.
I wouldn't use soft drink. Maybe
I wouldn't use a soft drink.
Maybe after you've drank the fucking soft drink.
The process of it. Anyways. So what happened with the whole Telepurte thing is that tonight, in fact, just a couple hours ago, basically, I got his channel back. Thank you, dear friends and fans, for the kind and supportive words, blah, blah, which is good. Again, I'm tempted to go officially subscribe, but I know people who do subscribe, and if he posts videos, they'll probably just link them to me.
I actually subscribe to his channel on one of my alternate accounts, at least.
But all he does is he posts the little animated shorts it's like once a day or so. So it doesn't hurt to subscribe anyways. I would say go ahead and I would recommend that wholeheartily. But this gets into a whole other issue that almost sounds condemning of him, and I want to say up front, and I know I need to preface this because there's always going to be some low IQ people out there who's like, oh, now you're trashing him, when we're not. But I think it's good that he got back. I'm glad he got back. People should certainly subscribe, and I like his videos. The thing is that it's pretty obvious that he got his channel restored, first because he was already popular, and second because of the big outcry in response.
And the big outcry is because he draws cute girls and fun, happy animations,
which I'm fully in favor of supporting too.
Mass appeal. It's tremendous amounts of mass appeal. And
I'm not complaining about deserves mass appeal because this guy's a better artist than a lot of artists who are supposedly professional.
And the animations are good too. They're good animations, not just good art.
Specific style of animation. Like, he clearly understands not just how to string images together in a sequence to make an animation, but the actual techniques of animation that I'm not even fully aware of. I think Jerk would be aware of, but whatever.
Jerk would have something to say if he was here, which he's not. I think he's streaming his own.
Yeah, he's doing his own stream right now too.
Where he's drawing.
We just wanted to do like this quick stream. But here, going back,
I wanted to make sure people understood we're one of the first people to talk about this.
Mm-hmm. Here's the thing: May 29th, so it was a couple days ago. well, everyone, YouTube decided to delete my YouTube account and it's all of its videos instead of fixing any problems. I'm not able to appeal, not currently able to talk to YouTube staff about this. I will continue
Well, why
creating here on
not?
Twitter.
Can't you always contact YouTube staff even from Twitter with the team YouTube?
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, there's supposed to be the team for YouTube. In fact, this got right now it has like 7,000 retweets. It already
That's
had
kind of a lot.
about
58,000.
1,000 within the first day, or at least
Yeah.
half a thousand.
58,000 likes.
It's pretty good.
And look, the first replies from Krekov.
The first reply, I think the first reply is by Krekov because I follow him, so it might have thrown up there. But
So
he's also extremely popular too.
Krekov, also aka known as CEO of Com.
I remember, you know what though? He had trouble where I think his not Patreon, but his Discord got hacked, and he tried contacting Discord. And thing is, you can be popular on YouTube, but Discord's not going to give a shit. So he just made a new server, and it was like, fucking, there, just dump the old one.
Let's go Discord.
Yeah, exactly. Discord, kind of dumb. But in reply, Team YouTube said, "Thanks for your patience confirming this was a mistake. This is a different fucking this is a different reply. There was another reply from Team YouTube. Here we go. From a day later, we've passed this along to our team and we'll be looking into it. We'll know once you have more to share." And that was generally seen already right then and there, right off the bat, as just like robot reply.
Shitty
that didn't mean anything.
Automatic shitty form letter response.
And it would, yeah, a form response which wouldn't have meant anything and would have gone nowhere. But the thing is that response, of course, turned it into its own, like, fucking people, pointed that out and it's like, look at YouTube just saying some bullshit but not fucking doing anything.
That's how we know.
They most likely won't do anything.
I'm sure there's people out there being like, how do you know? Guess what? We do know.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, well, here's the thing. I thought this was an interesting and worthwhile reply to Team YouTube was, I wonder what happens to smaller creators instead. And of course,
very good point.
Yeah, we had the firsthand experience where I say here, this on repeat forever with nothing ever done. And here's my experience with Team YouTube from the 10th of April. So it was a couple months ago, where they say, please tell us about your experience with Team YouTube. Because I had brought up that our channel got false flagged by Liam Gray, who not only false flagged us, he hit us with multiple false copyright strikes until our channel got locked. And then the copyright strikes were looked into by YouTube and they threw them out. And in response, Liam acted like they were thrown out on a technicality. He made up a really weird, completely unsubstantiated story it was just a complete hoax that he made up out of thin air, where he acted like somehow we made some reply, which I didn't. All I fucking did was just fill in the information and say that the strikes were for a fair use review, which it was objectively. That didn't even feature like full copyright. I mean, the whole story was just complete bullshit.
It was because he was bitter that we gave his comic a negative review because it's not a good comic.
Yeah, in fact, a lot at the aftermath was 90% of his personal friends turned on him afterwards, and in fact were embarrassed and afraid to then be associated with him, including, we won't get into this because we've gone into this many times in previous videos, but including like Ethan Van Sciver having a direct paper trail to Liam Gray threatening to blackmail other people to try and get our docs. Now, all this was pretty much completely public. It was made public, and when our channel was originally hit with the false copyright strikes, we posted about it on Twitter, and people tagged in Team YouTube. Basically, our supporters, though it was supporters of our followers and that kind of thing. We
don't have 500,000 subs.
Yeah, that's the thing. We don't even have 500 subs on our channel. We did on the previous channel. We had about 800 subs, still not a lot, but we had subscribers, and we had some followers.
We're going up. We're on our way up.
Yeah. We were gaining more and more. In fact, a lot of people were sort of secretly following us, including friends of Liam's and that kind of thing. There was a lot of weird stuff, but
They
again,
were
we've
all
mentioned
listening
that
to
in
us,
many
and
other videos.
we've already confirmed that they're still listening to us.
Yeah. But what happened was Liam Gray hit us with multiple false copyright strikes, and our channel got locked for about a week. And he was celebrating and saying, you know, I'm not done. I'm going to be suing them, taking them to court. I will be contacting the police, all this shit. And this was last year, by the way. This was fucking
not recent.
August or November or something. I don't know.
Yeah. It was a while ago.
Yeah,
it was not recent.
But then what happened is YouTube then released the strikes because they looked into it and realized that it was just a review with that was completely
I don't know if they even looked
under
into
fair
it.
use both in the United States and in Australia.
I think that they're used to getting false strikes, false copyright claims in general. So if you contest it, they will usually automatically lift the strikes.
Yeah, it most likely it was
which
a bot
explains what comes after that.
Most likely was also a bot that
it's
released
the reason why
with
what
a
happened next
delay implies that somebody actually did look into it for at least a second and found out that these were not only not legit, but he filed DMCA, which is the Digital Millennial Copyright Act of America specifically, but he was filing that for Australia, which doesn't have that law. So there's a lot of really
not to mention that's the DMCA is something
part.
that the music companies fucking created so that they could stop fans of music from being able to play music on YouTube.
Money, specifically money from the movement and supporters of Comicsgate, went into this, went into striking our YouTube channel because many people in Comicsgate not only supported and funded and financed Liam Gray publicly, but they also funded and financed Ethan Van Sciver, who was paying Liam Gray, and not in secret either, but completely in public, which we showed. We actually made a video clip showing the evidence, and I posted
which is why they're afraid of us,
to that YouTube channel that then started getting hit with harassment claims from Liam Gray until the YouTube channel was fully deleted. And that was in the time span of a couple of weeks. We got false copyright strikes. They got released. Then we got the false harassment strikes, and then the channel was gone. And nobody, except for our supporters, nobody else stood up for this or helped spread the news about it. In fact, many people in Comicsgate were directly confronted and asked about it, and they were silent and did nothing. They did nothing. They said nothing. They did nothing to help get the word out. And in fact, most of them, including Ethan Van Sciver himself, publicly posted to Kiwi Farms, for example, gloating about how our channel got deleted.
Which goes to show how afraid he is of us.
Yeah, but also the principle, the actual open principle of believing in, the claim. There's a lot of people who talk a big game about being against censorship and doing something against censorship.
It's kind of like the people with the masks. It's like the fucking people who was like, in the 1930s, would you have been in Nazi in Germany? And then they're the exact same people who are like, if you're not wearing a mask, I'm going to call the police on you. Exact same people. That's exactly what's going on here.
Openly worship power, but claim that they don't. And the thing
they
is,
LARP as some kind of freedom fighter, but the truth is that they are tyrants.
There's also the and I don't want to make like any claim that the people who supported this guy, they could have supported us because, again, nobody really knew. The thing is, it was our supporters who knew about it and tried to spread the word. But then after that point,
we are trying to tell people about this too.
Yeah, we were getting the word out, but it was then after that, it was up to other people to also still help spread the word. And the thing is,
that's
you
always
really don't
true.
Get that unless you are already popular. And it's really a shame. And it's not this guy's fault. It's nothing that that Telepurte.
It's probably going to sound like sour grapes
do anything about.
In particular, is that when I fucking say that we will fucking do this to try and signal boost this story for him. And this is also a warning. Don't ever consider this done just because your channel is back. This is never going to be over. You're going to be probably fighting this for the rest of your life.
Yeah, there's also an element of if you try to get these things noticed or anything like that, if you're not already popular, people will just accuse you of trying to get attention or clout chasing or just doing something for attention. Like Nick Rekieta actually did that. Speaking of people who are completely corrupt and dishonest, that people are not aware of, because he's already popular.
Well,
people just believe
we revealed it.
Even if he doesn't believe it, which he doesn't believe most of the things he says.
We also revealed that Ethan Ralph was corrupt. But
yeah,
people
that was
still
on accident too. In fact,
people
both
still
of them
don't
really
understand.
were on accident. But that's the thing. That's a very bizarre thing that a lot of people are unaware of or don't want to admit, is that when it comes to people who are already popular, they will get the support and help that they should get. But if you don't have that, you will just get completely swept under. And
people also get our old
channel got completely erased, which had actually evidence of criminal activity, including, Liam Gray threatening to blackmail people. And Liam was also
posts about his puppy mills.
Well, yeah,
him abusing dogs,
that kind of goofy stuff. But the thing is that Liam Gray had a direct financial connection to Ethan Van Sciver, and through that, Comicsgate, which means that Comicsgate fucking unironically, no question about it, Comicsgate funded deplatforming, false flagging, and censorship through their actions, not through what they say. A lot of them will still say, no, we don't support that. But then they did,
even on principle,
not just support it, but
you can't even say it on accident. It's not even on accident. They
and
openly.
The thing is that this needs to get out there. This needs to be made public too, just as much as what happens to anyone else.
Everyone in YouTube, everyone responsible for YouTube right now should be fired.
Yeah, in this way and in
we
many
need
other
a
ways.
Clean sweep so that none of the people who are in charge of YouTube right now still have any employment.
But also, here's the thing that happened that was especially ironic, if you will, is that my experience with Team YouTube after fucking tweeting about this, how we got false flagged and then our channel just straight up got erased, and so Team YouTube got tagged in that stuff. While I didn't even do it at first. Mm-hmm. I think other people were doing it and being like, in fact, somebody did it with in response to me here after this. But this, again, from a couple months ago, I was just tweeting and someone else tagged Team YouTube, and I was mentioning the stuff that happened. And so Team YouTube sends please tell us about your experience with Team YouTube.
It's like a form letter.
I explain all the stuff that was happening, that I can't get any response that means anything. I've already dealt with this situation last year where this guy was admitted to false flagging people's channels. And YouTube was throwing out his false copyright strikes. He started the story that I just went over in graphic detail. And in response to all that, Team YouTube just says, again, please tell us about your experience with Team YouTube. And so it's like, again, it's just complete robot shit where
you that they don't
nothing
care
out of it. It's just meant to play.
Who was it? The bitch in charge of YouTube who just gave herself a fucking freedom of speech medal or some shit.
Yeah. That's the thing. There's a lot of people at fault and to blame. But if you even talk about it, people will accuse you of complaining about it or accuse you. The people will
sour grapes
with the things. If you don't already have something like,
we've been accused of being jealous.
10,000.
We've been accused of like every lie you can think of under the sun. We have been accused of already by the people who are trying to shut down our channel for reporting on their lies.
And they're spending money to do it, by the way. They're spending money to fucking, make sure that that other people like, there was another thing is that one of the other guys who was false flagging our channel previously was that Umbrella guy. And money was put into having other people, not just money, but basically his viewership, he targeted against us to flag our channel as well, which
that's another principle
there.
It's a principle that Comicsgate holds to, is
that's the thing, is
doxing,
that nobody in
and
Comicsgate spoke
flaggatry.
out against that. In fact, many of them spoke out in favor of it, even though like all of it was a lie and it was straight up.
But if you fucking corner them to mention it, they'll actually start to back off just because it makes them look bad, not because they don't approve of it.
But like,
or
also
they
some of them
don't know
like start
about it.
crying. Like fucking again, some of the people we've already listed would go on streams where they look like they've been fucking hit by a car or something, and they're talking like this the whole time. They sound depressed, and it's like you got what you wanted though. You had us deplatformed and censored, and yet you're depressed. And it turns out it's because they lost a lot of subscribers and supporters from that. And it looked bad. The optics of it looked bad, and they didn't realize that was going to happen.
That was the only thing. That's the only thing they care about is optics.
Yeah, in that and their viewership, their subscriber,
their
count,
fame, their
watch time, and their clicks and all that shit.
Fucking clock.
They lost clicks, and it made them want to fucking start cutting themselves like teenage girls. And the thing is that we were actually kind of happy to burn a YouTube channel to the fucking ground, even though again
we celebrated.
I remember a bunch of reviews going back years, but it also had evidence of actual like criminal behavior, completely not just associated with Comicsgate, but Comicsgate was paying money.
I think it was actually after that the fucking guy like promised he promised to pay us to make a documentary about Comicsgate, and it's like, okay, how much are you going to pay us? And he's like, no, $20, and it's like, fuck you then.
I think he said $400, and I was like, we're going to take
I don't think it was that much.
Year out of our life to do something we've never done in our lives and have openly said that we aren't.
Yeah, like, I'm not a documentarian.
We just come on here and just fucking shoot the shit, and that's it. And we talk about stuff that's happened, and the only reason why you don't see it from other people is because nobody else has the balls to talk. There's really no other way to put it.
All you people are
legitimately afraid to talk about this stuff, and it's not important or significant. And like, it's like people being afraid to talk about an anthill out front of their fucking house. It's like, it's not a big fucking deal. But a lot of people, there are a few cases. Now, there are a few exceptions. I know a few people who work in comics who just don't want to deal with the fucking topic.
Well, they have real careers to lose.
Yeah, they have actual careers, but they don't want to fucking like, bog down with this stupid internet drama bullshit. Meanwhile, again, we're just fucking talking about stuff that we've experienced. Again, this is something I've experienced firsthand. Comicsgate paying actual money to have our channel deleted, and then being silent about it, and then them pretending that they're against that thing as they funded it directly, financially fucking controlled it, is something that we have experienced firsthand. And that's something that we wanted to do a video getting into some detail about how, it's a good thing that this got overturned for this guy, because he really deserved it. He deserved to come back and all that stuff. But yeah, when
he already had a fucking following. That's the thing, though, is he could have just restarted. With us, though, we lost a whole bunch of important evidence,
especially because
of criminal
videos most likely were just on YouTube, and then without, backing them yourself up manually or something, usually that's a lot of fucking time and energy right there. So your YouTube channel gets taken out. You have to do the work of putting it all back up somewhere else.
People are like, why are you fucking making all these claims? Where's your evidence? And it's like, the evidence was on the old channel. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah.
We already documented this shit. We're not documentarians.
That's another
We're
thing.
We're not reporters. We already put in this work that you didn't.
There are people with like fucking 100,000 followers or hundreds of thousands of followers who are directly complicit in supporting our channel getting deleted. And the thing is, when you have that, you are not going to get any response from Team YouTube. You'll get this response from Team YouTube right here. Please tell us about your experience with Team YouTube. And it's like, I had evidence of criminal activity on my account, and it got banned, and you did nothing about it. And they're like, oh, please tell us about your experience with Team YouTube. Again, none of it matters. None of it's
just
really
literally
real,
a form letter.
unless you're already
more uncaring about actual criminal activity when you're doing that.
The funny thing is, I got more people sharing this tweet here on fucking on Twitter than I almost did when we originally got flagged. Now, when we got flagged, of course, we had like all of our supporters and people who were following us pitched in to try and help share the word. But the thing is, that news was really inconvenient to the narrative that a lot of these people in comics, they were indie creators, and if this got out that they were affiliated with this, and their public support of it in the past was made public, and people paid attention to it, it would destroy their career. So they had to really make us disappear, but also make sure that nobody else even spoke out about it. And people obeyed because people want to obey a famous person. That's human nature. That's human behavior. That predates YouTube and the internet, of course. But yeah, there's actually, yeah, here someone says, what the hell kind of response is that? Clearly someone needs to take the bots out of their customer service, because that's the most disrespectful.
Yeah, I got bad news for you.
Well, believe it or not, there's more
they're not going to do that either.
What was another one? Hey, Team YouTube, want to explain this? You're idiotic. And I think this one got buried under the offensive material fucking tag. So again, as far as getting anyone to do anything about it, these people are actually fucking doing more to stand up about it than the people who were actually part of the guilty parties.
This is essentially giving, this is 100,000 times more support than Comicsgate has ever given to anyone who has ever actually been in trouble. Which is what's 100,000
worth paying attention to and pointing out is that now part of the new lying narrative is to claim it's a conspiracy theory about the stuff we have proven. And actually, I made a video showing the evidence with the screen caps with the archive links of what was screen capped of Ethan Van Sciver paying Liam Gray, while he was false flagging our channel. Now some people go out and say that that's a conspiracy theory when we posted the proof of it. Not only posted the proof, but the proof was on the old channel, which got banned too. And I reposted it on the new channel. But again, the thing is, when you're not already famous, nobody gives a shit. And also on top of that is that, again, some of these people are friends with other famous people who then sort of do their part to not talk about it as well. Like, again, that's why I brought up Nick Rekieta, because he was specifically told behind the scenes not to talk about this too much.
And he is a follower. He is absolutely a bootleg.
Yeah, he is a follower. He is an obeyer. He is an obedient person at the same time as wanting to be a popular YouTuber himself. So that's part of the inherent corruption.
And there's no reason to even go into fucking Ethan Ralph. If anyone even knows anything about Ethan Ralph, if they've heard of Ethan Ralph recently, they don't need us explaining how.
Yeah, that was another thing. That was also a conspiracy, a popular conspiracy theory, from us that we were spreading, is that Ethan Ralph was basically like a corrupt shill, and that there was something wrong with him.
Total fraud.
And and now you see how that's turned around, and that wasn't even because of us. That was just
we didn't do that.
It was always like.
That's the thing, is we gave you people the early warning about him, and you didn't listen. And now look at what he is.
And there's a lot more early warnings. Again, when we bring somebody up, it's because you're going to see something happen with them sooner or later, just through the inherent nature.
In fact, I think that's essentially what's going to eventually happen. It's kind of like with fucking MGTOW and Paul, where it's like, in 5 years, these people will be repating everything they say.
In fact, I think you called that, and I think we both kind of knew that, is that in time, like everyone on Paul on the 4chan political board is going to just be saying what MGTOW was saying, which even MGTOW itself is kind of a delusional cult, which is very prone to falling towards its own.
Even they've lost
celebrity worship. Popular MGTOW people will be believed no matter what they say.
It does make me despair for the human race. The rain can't come soon enough.
Yes, the creator can't send the rain soon enough. Prodmal says conspiracy theory nowadays just means what you're saying is right, but it upsets me. Which, yes, is also very true.
Tends to be. I remember back in the days of X-Files where a conspiracy theory was some obviously fake bullshit, but it was such a like the loose change and all that other bullshit. All that shit was conspiracy theories, and they were laughable. They
Well,
got
yeah,
laughed
like
out of the fucking
conspiracy
place.
theories, like aliens fucking blew up the fucking building.
It was a hologram. The fucking 9/11 was a
Well, no,
hologram.
the Oklahoma City bombing was a fucking an alien UFO explosion, also generated by a fucking hologram and that kind of shit. Just there's all sorts of goofy conspiracy theories about, but then there would be down the rabbit hole with like what was inside the building was evidence that this and that, and it's like, okay.
I mean, it does make you wonder why the fuck would somebody blow up that building in particular? Why Timothy McVeigh? And it's like, honestly, it gets to the point where it's like, I don't care anymore because
Yeah,
I've just heard so much bullshit.
to be honest, the thing that really it seems to boil down to is FBI encouraged it, and then it happened, and the FBI is like, yay, now we get to investigate it. That's usually what happens with any domestic terrorism, is that they were in contact with an FBI
It's basically, it's the most Occam's razor that you can get. So what is the simplest explanation? The simple fact is that they're trying to fucking false flag us with terrorist attacks.
Here's the thing about that's actual conspiracy theories. What we were talking about was stuff that we had not only had evidence of, but
that's
we had
the old time, the old era versus
when you actually post, and I'm talking about hard evidence that like could criminally convict people if anyone just paid attention.
And we're not the ones making weird claims about it either. We're just simply presenting the evidence.
Yeah, it's
being like,
straightforward. The evidence what happened. And the thing is, we also know other people who have seen, like, know the behind the scenes shit that are like, yeah, that happened. Yeah, it's not even a matter of
they have to come to us.
Yeah, of course that happened.
They have to come to us in secret, though.
Yeah, that's the weird thing. They don't want other people, because they have to come to us in secret, because if they don't, then they get like 100 sock puppet accounts, which again, all that happens in public. So if you see that in public and then you act like it doesn't happen, you're actually the conspiratard. You're the truth.
These people, it's these people who are questioning us that are clueless. It's to the point where it's a pattern now. It's no longer a conspiracy theory or a coincidence. It has become a pattern. The pattern has shown itself.
Like as they call it, the war against noticing. And
that's
why we want to just do this quick video to bring up how the guy got his channel back, but again, if you're not popular, you're not going to get your channel back. In fact, you'll have a lot of people accusing you of lying about things you can openly prove and have evidence of.
Also, that artists have a way easier time than anyone else. Any other type of creator who creates anything, artists have the easiest time. And I have no respect
to that extent. I'm glad that the guy, got his YouTube channel back, as he absolutely should have. The same way that, of course, we should have, but really anyone should.
But we don't draw cute pictures of girls being cute, so no one gives a fuck.
Yeah, maybe I should get into that a little more, but
I'm not going to learn how to draw. I'm not going to learn how to draw. Drawing is gay. What do you want to What do you want to hold a bunch of socks or something in drawers?
Twists. But anyways, yeah. So to wrap up, because we're still to this day more at risk of getting false flagged. In fact, I remember somebody, like, when we had to make a new channel because we had people expecting us to go back to fucking videos, almost immediately somebody was gloating about how they were flagging our new channel without any provocation. They were just like, yeah, I'm going to flag your channel. And it's like, that's again why we can't,
just dug up that fucking
make most of these videos public. So therefore,
what was it?
You have to go to our subscribe. Make sure to go to our Subscribe Star, and you have to become an official paper pig on our Subscribe Star in order to actually get access to our videos. At least for $1, you will be able to see some videos. And I wish we could make them all free. I wish we didn't have to charge money for them. But again, we've tried that. Is that a conspiracy that we've tried that and got flagged? It's basically like saying it's a conspiracy theory that our channel got deleted or that we got false flagged and people admitted it. And it's like It's not a conspiracy theory when it's all completely public.
I just showed the evidence again.
Yeah,
that's
again,
the thing. That's the real key
we've
problem.
gone into it again.
Is we have to do
and
it. We have to
it's
show
still
it
public.
over
It's
and
still
over.
completely out in the open. So yeah, it's all of this completely worth bringing up and considering that, it's good to get some stuff supported, but smaller creators will just get flushed under the ocean of lies. And the really a lack of support or a lack of people willing to be honest and put their money where their mouth is as far as them being against censorship, because most people will just talk a big game of being against censorship, but they're not actually against it. And an entire movement of people guilty of that is Comicsgate.
As soon as you hear, whenever you hear somebody say that they're all for freedom of speech, but as soon as you hear the but, you know that they're not in favor of freedom of speech. Anyone who puts any qualifier on it, anyone who says freedom of speech is not freedom from consequences.
Not even that. They don't even have to say, I'm for freedom of speech, but most of them just say, I'm completely against censorship. And then in action, they're in favor of censorship. So there doesn't even have to be the I'm for freedom of speech, but anymore. That doesn't qualify. That doesn't mean anything anymore. A lot of people who are in favor of censorship will just come out and say, I'm against censorship. No exception.
They also will say that cancel culture doesn't exist while they engage in it.
Well, also people will also say they're against cancel culture as they engage in it. At the same time,
it doesn't exist. They say they're
without an exception. They just fucking engage in it as they say they're against it. And in fact, some of them will say that other people are trying to cancel them as they are actually themselves. Again, it's like a world of mental illness these days.
It's a cultural, it's a mendacious culture. One might call it cultural
mendacity, you could say. And it's this mental illness society and culture, mostly geek culture. Geek and nerd culture is inherently mentally ill. And they will always try to drag other people down with them. And they want to drag us down with them, of course. But that's one of the things that drives them most crazy, more crazy than they already are, is that they can't even drag us down with them, which means they failed even at that.
But they'll be the ones they'll be worshiping at our feet soon enough.
Yeah, in a weird way. That's another thing.
They will bring us up. They're going to Voldemort.
Sounds more conspiratorial, but we've actually proven that one too.
We've also proven the Voldemorting.
But that was in the previous. The last stream we did goes way more into deals. The thing about this stream is when it comes to censorship, you can talk a big game, but unless you're actually putting up, then your words are as empty as your soul, as a great man with a whip once said. So unlike, share, don't comment, unsubscribe. Make sure you're still unsubscribed. Hit the bell for notifications.
For don't notifications.
And make sure to check out our Subscribe Star if you actually want to see the good videos where there's a lot of comic reviews on there, reviews of web comics and comic books. We do the weekly the weekly web comic review around here. That's actually
making comics.
We don't have to pay money for that.
We also make comics.
Yeah, also we make comics too.
Well, that's the thing is really all these people.
I just wanted to get into the whole freedom of speech.
There's a lot of people
YouTube banning question
saying some bullshit
like that's it.
I'll support you. I'll support anyone. I don't care if they're not a big follower. You're not doing it. You need to share
a lot of people.
You need to relink to what we post.
It's completely glossed over and ignored by so many people is that the vast majority of everyone who says they're against censorship in their words is then in their actions for censorship and has done something to enact censorship against another person without even a fucking a wink of self-awareness or fucking cognitive dissonance. Even not cognitive dissonance doesn't even kick in for them. Anyways, so if you really want to support it, check out. If you really want to support people who are getting banned without any recourse, without anyone really standing up, if you want to support the people who are getting banned without anyone really standing up in support for us, go fucking donate to us, or at least help get the word out or something.
In
That,
particular,
people
share the link.
are still being censored
And
without any
way
help,
too many
or without
people
the
are
word
afraid of
being
that.
spread in any way.
That's the one thing. That's the ultimate litmus test. I always see people fail is like, oh man, you guys should be more popular. You guys should fucking do such and such, and you guys should be a bigger name. Okay, then share a link. And then it's like, no, I don't want to get in trouble. Some people from my work might see this account and then okay, you're a liar then. You're a lying piece of shit.
Again, there's another there's some people who are like so mendacious and dishonest to the point of like rescinding their own humanity. It's really bizarre. But anyways, just if you can get the word out about anything, getting the word out for us isn't going to even help at this point, because a lot of people who claim to be in favor of that had their chance a long time ago and showed their true colors by not in any way.
This is going all the way back to original blog.
Yeah. They are openly looking to fucking, they wanted us specifically to be shut down. They wanted to shut it down on our part. And they're, a lot of them will do anything they can to try and do it. But, you don't have to support us by giving us money, even just fucking make sure that, I don't know, I would like to say, be a person, be some kind of person, be a human being who actually does what you claim to believe in. But here's the thing: I can say that all day, no one will do it. We do it all the time. We have constantly put into practice what we actually say, even to our own detriment. That's part of what got us false flagged in the first place, is we talked openly and honestly about stuff that, again, people came to us in private and were like, I wish I could say what you guys say, but I can't even get away with it. And not in any way that we're too spicy or that we use fucking bad words or anything, but the topics we talk about, we were clearly just unafraid to bring up and talk about.
There's a lot of people who are afraid of War Campaign and Comicsgate also.
Which they don't even really exist. Here's the thing: we've been bringing them up. They don't actually really exist anymore. They're completely irrelevant. Most of people are still afraid of them. Completely imaginary too.
A lot of these people are afraid of them, though.
A lot of them are going broke. Actually, that never gets brought up these days anymore. Either is that a lot of them are running out of money, or they don't have any money left. But again, that's kind of old.
And we
said that was going to happen in 2018.
We're the ones kind of responsible for that, because we're the only ones who are actually putting up resistance.
Yeah. And then a lot of people say that we're bragging by pointing this out. And it's like, no, other people came to us and talked.
The fact that people are going to call it bragging, it means that you're jealous of us.
Yeah. So yeah, just in general, we can soft shoot all we want. Just give us money, and
send us money, or please share the link.
Yeah, but just at least you don't even have to share the link about our video, because I don't fucking like, our videos aren't news or conclusive. We're just sitting here talking. That's it. Other people don't count that as good enough, and other people say you guys don't have enough reporters to ever exist in the first place. People unironically, people who are for freedom of speech and anti-censorship, people who say I have to say this is slow for the morons out there, because there's a lot of them out there, but people who say they are against censorship will also Nick Rekieta is one of them too. Nick Rekieta actually said, if you don't have a lot of subscribers, you shouldn't be listened to. He actually said that. And a lot of people believe it. A lot of people agree with him unironically that if you don't already have a lot of subscribers, you shouldn't be listened to.
I take satisfaction in seeing
Americans, not real Americans. We're real Americans. They're fake. People like them are fake Americans.
And he's an honorary European. He's essentially an honorary European by saying
yes, that. Exactly. They're interloper. I could say he's honorary, not honorary, but has dual citizenship, if you will. But again, there's so many examples of people like that, and people will just look at them and think, oh, there's respectable, because certainly they have to be respectable. They have a lot of subscribers already, and that's how people think. That's unironically how this
we covered this
already.
I covered that actually in a few other fucking videos.
All traditionalists and religious people
kindergartners
worship
kindergartners
They
getting
worship
polled,
idols and status.
and they were asked, "Would you rather be successful or would you rather be famous?" And way too many of them said they would rather be famous than successful.
Yeah,
And
the
it's
thing
like
is,
that's
even
your
a lot of
generation now.
Christians, even Christians that I like, some of them are unironically idolaters, and there's nothing I can do about them. They just are, and maybe they can pray on it, but
Maybe nail them
they
to
should
some
pray
big
harder
pieces of
because
wood.
it ain't working.
Maybe nail them to a couple of pieces of wood. Home
Maybe,
Depot
I mean,
style.
it couldn't hurt, I suppose.
It couldn't hurt me, I suppose.
Yes, exactly. Which is, of course, the most important part. But anyways, so yeah, the whole question of censorship, it's
It's very important. It's one of the most important.
censorship.
It's
Whoever
the
they are,
most
if they're
important
popular,
battle
getting
of the
censored,
current
getting their
era
channel back is
today.
always a good thing.
By far, from now on until probably the end of human civilization now,
I also
is
know
censorship.
that most people also aren't even smart enough to be able to hear both of us at the same time, which is their fault, by the way.
I don't give a fuck. That
Yeah.
doesn't even matter to me. If I don't say it, I'll forget it, and it's more important for me to say it
But
and not forget it.
Also, like,
than to have
how
stupid
low IQ
plebeians.
do you have to be to not be able to hear two people talk simultaneously and not comprehend it? I can do it.
Only
If you can't do it, you're just dumber than I am.
The most measly of pathetic.
You complain about how arrogant I am, but then you're just as arrogant as I am, and then you're dumber than I am, and you're arrogant about that. As one of our peers, Harlan Ellison once said.
Harlan Ellison, who was a lot more arrogant than we are.
Yes. But also, of course, probably justified the same way that we
It's justified, but we're more justified and less arrogant.
Yeah, you know what? You're very right. That's very true. Anyways, so yeah.
You're right that I'm right.
Anyways, before this is an hour, I only wanted this to be 20 minutes.
This is a short 20-minute stream that just became an hour long on accident.
Well, because we had about 500 other things to bring up. It's always
you would never hear this in 10 trillion hours of anyone else's streams because they're all shit compared to us.
But also they'll say that, they'll use like, oh, you guys don't even get a lot of views, as if that was the argument. The thing is, that just proves us right. Whenever you point it out, you've proven that we're objectively correct.
If you think that's true, by all means, go and listen to all the Lady Gaga that you want.
Yes,
because you are clearly not a man.
And that's the thing, is that, like a real man would listen to our streams, and then an effeminate fucking non-man would listen to like some more popular.
I mean, let's also
YouTuber
think about somebody else who got
things for their
a famous genius who got deplatformed. Sam Hyde, fucking $1 million extreme.
Another one of our peers, Sam Hyde.
Yes, somebody who is on our level. And a lot of you people wouldn't be able to admit that because you are not on our level or his.
Not even close. But anyways, so basically, the whole censorship question is something that most people don't even understand, especially people who think they understand it. People who think they're against censorship.
And we're done arguing.
And then in action are for it. It's all about what you think
we're going to have arguments with these people,
and then what you actually do.
They believe that we are going to have arguments with these people, but they are mistaken.
Yeah, only 12 men listened to Jesus, and look what came from that. Well, even that makes him sound more popular. But
you're making him sound way more. You're fucking bigging him up a little too much. That sounds like pride to me.
Yes, pride, which is a sin, by the way.
Pride, which is apparently one of the magical powers that will send you to eternal suffering. It's one of the magical swear
according
words.
to the D&D rule book, I think, was it, or something about as fucking on par with it, the rule crafting.
What's that? What's that D&D rule book that predates Dungeons and Dragons? It's the fucking tabletop RPG that predates it. Oh yeah, that's right.
The tabletop RPG that swept the world.
Swept the world in popularity. It's called the Bible, the Bible.
Also known as the Torah, but with some extra stuff added to it.
The Adventures of Jews Part 1.
Yes.
And Part 2.
1 and Part 2 combined. I'm uncomfortable with these Jewish rituals. That's what I say every time I look at a church.
Anytime I see more circumcision stats.
Yes, exactly. Fucking the greatest ally of an infant's penis is a fucking circumcision. Clearly.
How many babies do get syphilis?
Well, I think it's mostly herpes, and some of them die from it. And you know, it was the mayor of New York who just said, "Yeah, that's going to keep happening. We can't do anything about that. It's just going to have to happen." And it's like, whoa, that's a little.
It's like,
weird.
well, I wouldn't do that. I don't approve of that.
I
Okay,
think
now
that
we're
might
over
have
now.
been a thing that sort of RSG'd Nick Mullen a little harder than even he was expecting,
Which is great.
which is for
you know
sure
what
good.
I don't like about Nick Mullen and Cumtown? Just too liberal. They're too extreme.
The two leftist.
Well, anyway, now it's over an hour, so we officially have no excuse to be doing this.
fucking-
I got to get to Warframe.
Yeah,
I got to get to my
fucking
alerts in
sleep time for
Warframe.
me. So yeah, unlike share, whatever, give us money unironically. Donate.
Fuck
Keep
you,
donating.
pay me. Fuck you, pay me.
Fuck you, pay me, go away, we're drunk. And also, most importantly, is should have listened to Shitty Webcomics.